Ooh, it's good. Commanders fans just wanted to go over the Commanders practice squad that was announced. And the practice squad is basically the same guys, man. It's really not much to go over. Like, they brought back everybody. They brought the whole gang back. This probably is the worst practice squad that I've seen. It's not like we're really counting like which practice squad is better year by year, but sometimes it does matter. It does matter who the scout team is and who you're practicing against, and how guys are competing in practice to make the starters and the second string guys better, to make the guys who are going to play in the game better. Your scout team does matter. They do, and there's really nobody on the scout team that really played well in the preseason. To be honest with you, I mean, Lawrence Cager played well. I'm not even going to edit and put this up because, like I said, it's the same guys. Like, Ricky Barber made it. Ja'Cory Brooks played well. I thought he had some good moments. He made the practice squad. Congrats to him. Like, some people thought he was going to get poached, but we've been through this year and year and year that nobody ever really gets taken away from our practice squad. Like, guys would get cut. I'm trying to think if anybody got picked up. I think the one time it was that really, really bad quarterback. He got picked up by the Lions. He went to Colorado. He was a mobile quarterback, a dual threat quarterback. He was awful. Really bad, but the Lions picked him up for whatever reason. Man, I can't remember that guy's name, but he was here during the Rivera era, and he was awful. But he was tall, athletic, and he was pretty darn bad. But he got picked up. That's the last guy I can remember that got like picked up from our practice squad, or got claimed on waivers. Sheldon Day made it. Michael Dieter made it. So Michael Dieter, of course, nobody was going to pick him up. Antonio Hamilton Sr., the cornerback. He made the practice squad. And then Sam Hartman, I know a lot of people didn't want him back on there, myself included. Tyler Snoop Huntley was picked up by the Ravens. I thought that was a layup. That was a layup, man. And Taylor Heineke's out there. I would not have picked up Taylor Heineke. I'm a big Taylor Heineke fan. I am. I support Taylor Heineke a lot. But it wouldn't even be a distraction. There are some weirdos and just people who love Taylor Heineke with a passion that would be banging on the table for him to start, like if Jaden made a mistake or something like that. But Jaden's so darn good to the point where it's like even the Taylor Heineke stands won't even do that. That's just how good Jaden is. But like if it was some of the other quarterbacks, like when Sam Howell, when we started him 2 years ago, the thing about bringing Taylor Heineke back as a backup is that you would hear the noise if Sam didn't play well. But here it's like Jaden Daniels, like nobody's gonna be banging on the table for Taylor Heineke. Like it's just a mental illness if you're banging on the table for Taylor Heineke to start if Jaden makes one mistake in a game. But I wish Taylor Heineke the best. Like I like Taylor Heineke a lot. I love his moxie, the toughness, the swagger, how much of a gamer he is. But we did not sign him to the practice squad. Jalen Holmes, the defensive end. But Sam Hartman's here because of the relationship with Jaden Daniels, the way they play basketball or shoot the basketball before the games, before practice. Like that does mean something. Now, he's not going to make guys better in practice. Like Josh Johnson is going to be like the third string guy going up against the starters sometimes and whatnot, or second string guys or whatever, practice squad or in practice doing the scout team. But he's pretty darn awful as well. But Sam Hartman, like I said, him and Jaden have a great relationship. They shoot the basketball before practice and work on their form and stuff. Like he's just an all around good guy. So I get it. He's like the ball boy. He basically is the ball boy for the team. Jalen Holmes is the defensive end. He got a sack against the Bears last year. He's on the practice squad. Jacoby Jones from UCF. He made the practice squad, the wide receiver. TJM, the rugby guy. He made the practice squad. Robert McDaniel, safety from Jackson State. He made the practice squad. Guard Timothy McKay, who they paid a decent amount of money for a UDFA. He made the practice squad. Wide receiver Chris Moore is awful, who should not be in the NFL at all. I don't even think he should be on the XFL either. That's how bad he is. Terry McLaurin is going to speak to the media right now. He's going live, speaking to the media after practice. Carlin Vidgers, he made the practice squad as well. He had a rough going in preseason. Couldn't tackle, couldn't cover, got ran over by Antonio Gibson and got mossed by Mitchell Tinsley, I believe. So he just had a rough going. But he's an undrafted rookie free agent. So that's why it's like, okay, if you want to just have him in your developmental program, kind of like on your G League team, it is what it is. Not really tripping over that, but they have 14 guys on the practice squad now. The biggest thing is the rumor of Donovan Edwards, former running back for the Michigan. The Michigan Wolverines, played with Mikey Samerstill, played with J.J. McCarthy, was on that championship team, played with Roman Wilson, split carries with him. Now, Donovan Edwards If you look at his 2022 season, he had a heck of a season. He had 7 yards per carry, which led the Big Ten Conference. Played in 11 games, had 140 carries for 991 yards, 18 catches for 200 yards, 11 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns. He had 9 touchdowns overall that season. And then in 2023, he kind of tailed off a little bit. Had 497 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, and 4 yards per carry, 30 catches for 249 yards. And his senior year in 2024, he had 128 carries for 589 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns, and then 18 catches for 83 yards. So he's a versatile kind of scat back kind of guy, and that splits carries with another running back like Roman Wilson. But he shot out of a cannon. Like if you look at the preseason game that he played with the Jets, he scored a touchdown against the Eagles. And then look at some of his preseason numbers. Like he had some good games. He had 26 carries for 89 yards, which is not great, 3 yards per carry, but he had a touchdown as well. And he had a couple of nice catches too in the preseason. Like he did a couple good things, man. Like the first game, I think it was against the Steelers, I think, and he had some really good games where he broke some tackles. He made some guys miss in the phone booth. Like he had the highest PFF grade. He had the second highest PFF grade, which was a 90.1 in his first preseason game. It was a 90.6 PFF grade against Green Bay, and he played well. Played well in that game. Now, he shows up at big moments like the national championship game. He had 2 rushes of 20-plus yards in that game. It's so funny, like in the 2023 season, the first 14 games of the season, he only had 2 carries of 20-plus yards or more per PFF. And then the national championship game, he had 2 20-plus yard runs in that game. He had an 87.0 PFF grade in the 2022 season. That was his best season where he had 991 rushing yards. And then you look at his RAS score. He's an athletic freak, man. He's an athlete and a half. If you look at his RAS score, let me see if I can find it real quick. He had a 9.78 RAS score, which is elite. He had 23 bench press reps, which is elite. Vertical leap was elite, 38.5-inch vertical leap, which is elite. 40-yard dash, 4.44, 40-yard dash, which is elite. 20-yard split was elite, 2.58. His 10-yard split was elite as well. He ranked 45 out of 1,976 running backs from 1987 to 2025. And he scored a 9.78 out of a possible 10 RAS score. So this guy's an athlete. Like I said, this is a rumor. This is a rumor, though. This is reported by Matt Lombardo. And then the person who tweeted this out, his name is... Let me see if I can find it. I don't know where it went, but... Paul Andrew Esden. Boy Green 25 on Twitter. Yeah, on Twitter. And he's a digital reporter for Heavy. So he has 18.2 thousand followers on Twitter. So this is what he has. So Matt Lombardo says the plan is for Edwards to start on Washington's practice squad. And this tweet was made about 2 hours ago right now. It was made at 3:07 p.m. Now, we haven't announced any signings or anything like that, or we announced the signings to the practice squad, but we haven't announced any outside signings at all. But there was Donovan Edwards had some really big games in college. He had like a 200-yard rushing game, one game in his career. I think that was back in 2022. And he had some really, really good seasons, though. Some really good seasons. So I'm intrigued by that signing. I'm intrigued by the signing. It's the practice squad. I would have gotten Damian Martinez. I would have signed him to the practice squad. That's what I would have done. He's a dog, and he got released. Audrey Esteen got picked up to another team's practice squad, to an NFC opponent's practice squad. I like him a lot if you're going to bring in a running back. But I would have went after Damian Martinez. But I think they like the versatility of Donovan Edwards, how he can catch out of the backfield. And he threw a touchdown pass on a trick play to Roman Wilson as well in his career. But he had 22 carries for 216 yards against Ohio State, where they won 45-23. He did play with Mikey Samerson as well. And then he had 185 rushing yards against Purdue, where they won 43-22. 119 rushing yards versus TCU in the Fiesta Bowl, where they lost 51-45. 173 rushing yards against Penn State, where they won 41-17. So he had some really big games, man. Like I said, he had a solid preseason showing as well. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. There were some number changes. Colson, the biggest one that stands out to me is Colson Yankov going to 80. That's the biggest one to me out of all of them, because to me, it doesn't mean that he surpassed Ben Sinnott, but the fact that he has like a legitimate number. Like tight ends do wear 40, like Chris Cooley wore 47 back in the day. So sometimes tight ends do wear like 40s and stuff like that. He was wearing 41 before. But the fact that Colson Yankov is 80 now. I like that. I like that for Colts Union call. Marcus Mariota went to 8. That's his old number. Tyler Owens went to 18. That was Marcus Mariota's number. George Fant, 77. Javon Kinlaw goes back to 99 from 52. So those are the number changes. Bill stays at 32. I'm fine with 32. I don't think 32 is a bad number for a running back. I really don't think it's that bad. I'm not a numbers guy into it. I don't really care about numbers. I know a lot of people are into numbers. Rio's into numbers a lot. I don't really care. Luka Doncic wears I know it's basketball. Luka Doncic wears 77. Dennis Rodman wore 91. Russell Westbrook wore 0. So I couldn't care less about numbers. I don't care. Michael Jordan wore 45. There's been some ugly numbers. Who's like the ugliest numbers in the NBA? Let me look this up real quick before I wrap it up. Because NFL, I don't really care. I feel like numbers matter a little bit more in the NBA, to be honest with you, than it does in the NFL. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Like I said, I don't really care about numbers. I don't really care about numbers like that. But all right, guys, as always, Hell Commanders, peace.